KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more. Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
Good morning, I'm Debbie Cruz. It's Wednesday, July 13th. College grads are leaving San Diego. More on that next, but first, let's do the headlines. The San Diego City Council yesterday approved a $10.5 million contract with Father Joe's Villages to continue operating the homeless shelter at Golden Hall. It's the largest shelter in the region, providing more than 500 beds. The shelter supports families, teens, and young adults and single men experiencing homelessness. The new contract will add education, employment, and drug treatment services at the shelter. Congressman Juan Vargas and State Senator Ben Hueso are pushing back on plans to resume border wall construction at Friendship Park. That's according to reporting by the San Diego Union Tribune. The 50-year-old park joins Imperial Beach and Tijuana. It has been a place where those who can't cross south can meet up with family members who can't cross north. Last week, San Diego activists raised concerns when Border Patrol officials told them the new project wouldn't include pedestrian gate access to the park. Customs and Border Protection told the UT that it will identify opportunities to provide the public with access once it's operationally safe to do so. There's a new coach in town. The San Diego Gulls hired Roy Sommer as their new ice hockey coach. He is known as the winningest coach in American Hockey League history. Sommer will be replacing coach Joel Bouchard, who was fired after the Gulls had their first losing season. From KPBS, you're listening to San Diego News Now. Stay with me for more of the local news you need.
KPBS On Demand is supported by Splatero, helping homeowners pay off debt by offering streamlined access to your home's equity with no additional monthly payments or new debt. Splatero provides a lump sum payment in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Pre-qualification is available at splatero.com.
San Diego is among the most sought-after destinations for college students in the nation. But as KPBS reporter Claire Tregeser tells us, when it comes to keeping people around after they've graduated, the region doesn't do as well in comparison to other big California metros.
Devin Lakakis-Jones.
Devin Lakakis-Jones says he's living his dream. He graduated from UC San Diego last year and is staying here, following in his parents' footsteps.
Both my parents were high school teachers, and that kind of influenced my pathway to become a high school teacher.
But new data show Lakakis-Jones is not among the majority of his classmates. Only 40% of UC San Diego students stay in the region after graduation. And for every 100 graduates from all local colleges and universities, the region retains just 99 of them, according to a new study. Meanwhile, Los Angeles and San Francisco attract more college graduates than they produce. This is a significant disparity that has both short and long-term impacts on the region's economy and competitiveness, says Ray Major, the Chief Data and Analytics Officer at the San Diego Association of Governments.
Businesses need to be able to expand here. So we need to have a business-friendly environment where these people can open their business, expand their operations, hire their people, and the people can work there and live relatively closely at a reasonable cost.
There are also other options local leaders could explore, says Jonathan Konzelman, co-author of the study.
Sort of target that funding is towards maybe schools who do tend to retain more students within the local area.
That funding could be used in part to help lower-income San Diegans afford local colleges, says Daniel Enemark, the senior economist at the San Diego Workforce Partnership.
If we were able to make it possible for people who don't have as much family wealth to get a college education, I think the likelihood of them staying here is much higher, especially if we can connect them with employers as part of the process.
He says the need for college graduates is especially acute in the current labor market. Right now in San Diego, there are 2 unfilled jobs for every unemployed person. Plus, employers need to pay more.
If workers from January 2021 to January 2022, if they didn't get an 8.2% raise, they are making less money this year than they were making last year. How do we retain more workers in San Diego? We got to pay them more. The median real wage in America is no higher today than it was pre-pandemic, which is a shame. From 2014 until 2020, we saw pretty steady gains in the median real wage. And then it spiked up as companies were trying to lure people back into work during the pandemic, but it's gone now.
All right, hey, here we go. On the left, sweep down the middle, then big chest, big finish. Here we go.
That's being felt by recent college grads like Lakakis Jones, who's living in Ramona because it's one of the few places in the county he can afford. Meanwhile, his college friend Joseph Polk moved to the Stockton area to become a lawyer and work on a horse ranch.
I think UCSD helped San Diego kind of build a really good base for professionals going from college into the real world.
But many of those students are going into the real world outside the San Diego region. Claire Tregesser, KPBS News.
Governor Newsom signed legislation that allows Californians to sue gun manufacturers. KPBS reporter Kitty Alvarado spoke with the author of the bill and has more.
San Francisco Assemblyman Phil Ting says the bill signed by the governor, AB 1594, allows people to sue when gun companies violate California state law or their products malfunction.
The gun industry is the only industry right now where there is no liability, and that's what this bill does. It's game-changing.
Ting, the main author of the new law, says this gives victims of gun violence the power to hold negligent gun industry actors responsible.
Just like if you got into an auto accident and there was a car malfunction, then of course the auto industry would be at fault.
Michael Schwartz, the executive director of the San Diego County Gun Owners Political Action Committee, sent us a statement calling the law a bully tactic that won't stand up in court. Ting is confident it will stand up in court because the New York law it was based on just withstood a challenge in federal court. Kitty Alvarado, KPBS News.
The number of COVID cases is rising in San Diego, just as 2 big events are about to return in person. KPBS reporter John Carroll says local doctors are concerned about the surge we're seeing.
It's not just the rising numbers of COVID cases that are concerning to doctors and health officials. It's the fact that the majority of them are due to new, much more transmissible subvariants of the virus. The surge in cases comes just as hundreds of thousands of people are set to gather this weekend for Pride and Comic-Con next weekend. Pride is mainly held outside, but Scripps Chief Medical Officer for Acute Care Operations, Dr. Ghazales Sharif, says that's no reason to let your guard down.
With these variants being so infectious, we still have to be extra careful.
Everyone who attends Comic-Con must wear a visible mask at indoor events. They must also show proof of vaccination or a negative test within the last 72 hours. John Carroll, KPBS News.
Coming up, beach closures and advisories in Coronado. We'll have that story and more next, just after the break. Stay close.
KPBS On Demand is supported by Latino Legacy Foundation, presenting their Storyteller series, Reach for the Stars with Ellen Ochoa, the first Latina astronaut. Welcome Serenade by the all-female mariachi Amapolas, Sunday, June 29th. More at latinolegacyfoundation.org.
The California State Games has canceled a junior lifeguard competition. that was supposed to happen in Coronado this week because of concerns about water quality. As KPBS reporter Alexander Nguyen tells us, Coronado's mayor is not pleased with the county's new water safety testing method.
This is the second time in 2 weeks that a beach event has been canceled in Coronado. The city's annual 4th of July Rough Water Swim was canceled last week. Coronado Mayor Richard Bailey says the problem is the new, more sensitive water safety testing method used by the county.
What we've seen over this past summer has been that the county has shut down or issued advisories for our beaches 1/3 of the summer days so far, which is simply unprecedented. And it's not because there's been any change to the underlying environmental conditions.
The new test detects both dead and live bacteria, leading to more beach advisories. Bailey says he wants the county to go back to the test it's been using for the past 25 years because it sets a baseline everyone understands. Alexander Nguyen, KPBS News.
The new docuseries Icons Unearthed Star Wars reminds viewers of the challenges George Lucas faced to get his film made. KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando has this review of the show that aired yesterday on Vice TV.
The success of Star Wars tends to make people forget how hard it was to get the film made. George Lucas was rejected by 2 studios before 20th Century Fox finally greenlit it. The docuseries Icons Unearthed Star Wars takes a deep dive into the franchise Lucas created. It boasts the first on-camera interview with Lucas's ex-wife and film editor, Marcia Lucas. She recalled showing the unfinished film to friends.
I remember Brian De Palma coming out and saying in his loud, voice, voice, "George, you got to get rid of that force thing. That doesn't work at all. What is that?"
Produced and directed by Brian Volk-Weiss, the show offers nuggets of information that fans may not know.
Fox was putting a lot of pressure on George to not film the ending attack on the Death Star. So Fox actually wanted the movie to end with them leaving the Death Star, having rescued Princess Leia.
That would have been a very different film. The series celebrates how innovative Lucas was in creating his own effects company and fighting to keep the rights to what he had created. Any fan of Star Wars needs to watch this. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
And one more story before you go. This year's top 10 picks for one book, One San Diego, have been revealed. They include novels, memoirs, poetry, and true crime. One of the books will be the subject of a region-wide book club and discussed during public events at libraries, schools, and community centers. The program is meant to connect people through reading and book discussions. The winner will be announced on August 20th at the Festival of Books. For a full list of the top 10 books, visit kpbs.org/onebook. That's it for the podcast today. As always, you can find more San Diego news online at kpbs.org. I'm Debbie Cruz. Thanks for listening and have a great day.
KPBS On Demand is supported by Latino Legacy Foundation, presenting their Storyteller series, Reach for the Stars with Ellen Ochoa, the first Latina astronaut, former NASA director, and San Diego native, Sunday, June 29th. More at latinolegacyfoundation.org.